I never imagined that a single sentence at a party could completely alter my understanding of respect, pride, and boundaries. My name is Ryan, and I had always thought my marriage to Claire was built on mutual support, humor, and understanding. Or at least, that's what I believed. But that evening, at the promotion party she threw for herself, I realized that even the smallest words can carry enormous weight. The venue was alive with energy, colleagues mingling, glasses clinking, laughter bouncing off the walls. Claire was radiant, the undeniable center of attention, her excitement about her achievement glowing from within. I had always celebrated her successes wholeheartedly, proud to stand beside her. Yet, that night there was a subtle shift in the way she carried herself, a confidence that bordered on arrogance, particularly in my direction. It started innocuously enough. Casual congratulations, light laughter, easy chatter. I stayed nearby, offering supportive smiles, ready to let her moment shine. Then, without warning, she said it. One line, thrown into the room casually, cutting through the noise like a knife. This is my life, and you're lucky to be part of it. The word seemed innocent, but the underlying mockery was unmistakable. A reminder of power, control, and my supposed place in her life. I froze, processing the implication. This was a simple boast. It was a deliberate assertion of dominance, belittling my presence and questioning my role. Laughter followed, some colleagues joining in unaware of the sting behind her words. My pride, patience, and sense of fairness demanded a response. Yet I knew that reacting impulsively could escalate things unnecessarily. I scanned the room, reading faces, noting subtle reactions, the mix of admiration and discomfort among our peers. Claire may have intended this as teasing or asserting superiority, but she had misjudged the consequences. Patience became my ally. I didn't need to raise my voice or create a scene. Instead, I let my mind work, considering timing, approach, and the precise way to reclaim dignity without spectacle. I understood then that true power in moments like this doesn't come from volume. It comes from observing, calculating, and responding in a way that clearly defines boundaries. As the evening wore on, I positioned myself near her, allowing the party to continue uninterrupted. That single line had opened a door that required careful navigation, awareness, and a calm, decisive response. By the end of the night, people would remember more than just a promotion. They would witness how subtle mockery meets controlled, undeniable authority. I stayed calm, letting the tension settle, knowing my response had to be deliberate. Around us, conversations flowed, laughter continued, but the subtle weight of what had been said lingered. Claire's words were a test, an attempt to assert dominance. How I responded would define not only the rest of the evening, but the unspoken dynamics of our relationship going forward. I leaned in slightly, close enough that only she could hear, my voice steady and deliberate. "Claire," I said quietly, "there's a difference between pride and mockery. Tonight, you cross that line." Her eyes widened, the smirk fading into surprise and recognition. She hadn't expected a confrontation, delivered with calm authority. The quiet weight behind my words conveyed control without theatrics, a silent statement that boundaries exist, and they are non-negotiable. The room continued its hum, yet a subtle shift occurred. Attentive observers could sense the tension. Claire's laughter had lost its edge, replaced by awareness that her attempt to belittle me had been seen, catalogued, and met with measured control. I realized then that real power in relationships lies not in theatrics or volume, but in deliberate, composed action that exposes overconfidence. She opened her mouth to respond, perhaps expecting retreat, apology, or a smile to defuse the moment. Instead, I held firm eye contact, expression calm but resolute. "Respect is earned and maintained, not assumed," I continued. "You may be celebrating tonight, but that doesn't give you license to dismiss or mock those who stand beside you." Her colleagues began to shift uneasily, sensing the gravity of the moment. What had started as a playful celebration became a demonstration of integrity, boundaries, and self-control. Claire paused, her smirk replaced by thoughtful recognition. She finally realized that her joke had underestimated the consequences. My measured response had flipped the dynamic. Where she had sought humor, I had shown awareness, authority, and patience. The party went on, but the energy had shifted. Every laugh, toast, and comment carried a subtle reminder that even casual mockery carries weight, and that respect is never optional. By the night's end, the lesson was clear. Claire had learned, subtly but undeniably, that certain lines should never be crossed. The room returned to celebration, but what mattered most was the unspoken understanding between us. The recognition that boundaries, once tested, cannot be ignored. After the party, we stepped onto the balcony. The cool night air contrasted with the warmth inside. Claire's expression had softened, though a trace of tension lingered. "I didn't mean to embarrass you," she whispered. "It was just a joke." I held her hand gently, letting her feel my calm, deliberate presence. "Claire, I understand. But there's a difference between teasing and undermining. That line exists for a reason," I said. She nodded, a mix of relief and awareness passing over her face. The lesson had been delivered, not with anger or spectacle, but with precise, quiet authority. In the days that followed, our conversations became more open and intentional. That single line at her promotion party revealed hidden dynamics, unspoken frustrations, and boundaries that had been taken for granted. We spoke of respect, perception, and the balance of pride and humility in both private and public interactions. Reflecting on that night, I realized that tense moments are often the most revealing. They expose what we value, test, and honor. Claire's words had highlighted imbalance. My measured response restored equilibrium. Humor, celebration, and achievement are vital, but they must coexist with awareness, empathy, and consideration for the emotional weight of words. By week's end, the memory of the party had transformed from embarrassment into a meaningful lesson. Authority and respect in relationships are maintained not through force, volume, or retaliation, but through calm observation, precise timing, and unwavering boundaries. The dynamic between us had shifted, subtly yet significantly. Trust was reaffirmed, pride respected, and understanding strengthened. That evening, what appeared to be a casual social gathering became a defining moment, a testament to awareness, quiet authority, and emotional intelligence. The room celebrated Claire's promotion, but the true victory lay in the restoration of respect and a reminder that even playful words carry weight. In relationships, every gesture, joke, or comment matters.